He is the only U.S. Senator who serves on both the Intelligence and Homeland Security Committees, and he represents you. Joined this morning by Senator James Lankford. Senator, thank you for being here with us.
Glad to be able to be with you.
So I want to start here with those committees you serve on, and I know terrorism is always a hot topic. We have learned over the past few years that terrorists have made it clear that commercial airlines are definitely a target for them. Is that still the case based on what you're learning in your committees?
That is still the case. I mean, they still want to be able to target commercial airlines, but they're also trying to look for other soft targets. Obviously, there's been a lot of work been done worldwide to be able to make it more difficult to get onto an airline to be able to carry out an attack. They want something easy where they can do it high profile, and they're very different. ISIS wants to do a lot of small attacks. Al-Qaeda wants to do one big, giant, dramatic attack. And so different terrorist groups have different plans on that, and we have to be prepared for all of them.
Okay, when we see what's happening with the TSA and these 90-minute plus wait times, are those lines, are they effective right now at stopping terror attacks on airplanes?
They're very effective at raising the frustration level of every single passenger. Whether they're effective at stopping terrorism or not, obviously is evaluated based on we haven't had another attack recently, but it doesn't have to be carried out to this. A 90-minute wait, a 30-minute wait at an airport to be able to get on board is ridiculous. There are efficient ways to do it. There is a new director at TSA that's come on in the past year. He is helping clear the house and to be able to change some of the structure on it. We shouldn't have everyone just wave through, but neither should we have people wait 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. In Chicago, 3 hours a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and I know some airlines were saying it was getting so bad they were threatening in airports too to privatize it and go with private security versus TSA. Is that something we could look at?
It is actually, because there are multiple individuals that are in that line that don't necessarily have to be a security person. It's one thing to say that you're putting a security person examining all the bags coming through and running the magnetometers and such. It's another one to say the person at the front that's waving people in saying you go to pre-check and you go to the other line. That doesn't necessarily have to be a person that's a TSA person. So there's lots of personnel that don't need that same level. And if they would just double the number of people that are handling the bags, that ends up being the clog point every time. There are simple ways to be able to resolve this, and we're trying to push TSA to do that.
Okay, that's always good to hear. I want to get to your meeting with Merrick Garland, President Obama's choice to fill the vacant Supreme Court seat. You did meet with him.
I did.
What do you guys talk about?
Yeah, Merrick Garland was a very important individual for Oklahoma City, specifically in handling the Oklahoma City bomb in 1995. He came from the Justice Department, was on the ground within 2 days. He coordinated with the FBI and local law enforcement, all the different entities. He helped with the initial push on the prosecution, helping determine who will be the prosecutors in this. So we met and spoke at great length about the prosecution and what happened and some of the behind-the-scenes work that he did, and I thanked him personally for his work there. We actually never discussed the Supreme Court nomination because in our office and many other offices around, he's not a Supreme Court nominee that we're going to address at this point. We won't deal with him at all this year. If the next president nominates him, we'll sit down and meet with him. But we've already stated this year we are not dealing with a Supreme Court nomination during a presidential election year.
Do you think Merrick Garland would be a good potential justice?
I do have some real concerns there, but again, I'm not dealing with him as a justice. I can look at his judicial record of what he did in the D.C. Circuit Court and his leadership there. It seemed to always be when it was an issue between a government agency and a private citizen or an outside group of any way, of any business or entity, it seemed to always went to the government on it. And so his deference seems to always be towards the government's making the right decisions. I disagree on that. There are some areas that need real accountability, but at this point, we're not dealing with him as a nominee. We're dealing with him. Yeah,
so you say that you're not dealing with him as a nominee, but yet he has been nominated by the president.
That's correct.
So he is a nominee.
Well, he is a nominee by the president. So there's a nice 50-50 breakdown here. When you go through Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution, the
advising consent.
That's right. The president has the first part of that. It says the president shall nominate, and then the second part of it is, and with the advice and the consent of the Senate. The way that's always been defined is the Senate has the opportunity to be able to look at when is the right time to take this person up, and is this the right person that should be confirmed. We had the very first test on that is this the right time? And we said no. During a presidential election year, especially one as contentious as this year, this is not the right time to change the Supreme Court. We'll allow the American people decide that in November.
Sure. Former Senator Tom Coburn, who used to represent Oklahoma, said, at least give him the up or down vote, but give him the hearing at least. You still think this is not the time for the hearing? He
has a little different view on that only because he served on the Judiciary Committee. His statement was actually, sure, he would hear him in the Judiciary Committee and then vote no on him. I have a different view on it in that if we already know there will be a no vote, if we already know that we're going to not move forward, why put his family through this? Why go through all the pain in the process of it and you know you're not going to end at all with this candidate? It's a very difficult process, and I have great respect for both him and what he's done for our state and for what his family goes through in this process, because at this point, if we're not going to ever process through him, I wouldn't drag him through the hearings and do everything else.